What's going on? My name is William Wingfield, and I am a freelance artist that works in the concert world and the commercial world. In my career, I started out as a martial artist, and from martial arts I kind of found some interest in dance, watching the movie Dirty Dancing, and of course like greats like Michael Jackson. And I started taking dance class in Nashville, Tennessee at 9 years old. Started with just hip hop and gymnastics. And then I got more serious. When I was 15 years old, Debbie Allen noticed me in Los Angeles, and she picked me up, got my phone number, came out to LA. I did my very first kind of big show with her, and after that she invited me out to live in Los Angeles. So I finished my last 2 years of high school in Los Angeles, training at the Debbie Allen Dance Academy, where I learned most of everything that I know. After I left the Debbie Allen Dance Academy, I went straight into Celine Dion in Las Vegas for 2 years. After I left Celine Dion, I did So You Think You Can Dance. But in between all of that little time, I've worked for choreographers here and there. I've done little jobs here and there, some in the commercial world, some in the concert world. And through people like Debbie Allen, I've been fortunate enough to meet some of the most incredible and talented artists in our industry. And so I've had the chance to train with them all and learn from some of the greats. Some of the dream people that I would have to say that I've worked with would be Don Bellamy. He's one of the old Ailey members. He did Celine Dion with me. He actually had Mr. Ailey like Desmond did, and he was from that area. Desmond Stephen Smith was also one of my teachers at Debbie Allen Dance Academy. Those three guys just represent for me so much strength and masculinity in African American male dancing. It's something to look up to, it's something to aspire to, it's something that has given me motivation for where I want to take my art and my craft. I've been fortunate enough to work with Mia, Michaels, Wade Robson, you know. So many of the greats that you can think of, I've pretty much had the opportunity to work with them. However, I have not had the chance to work with Kenny Ortega, which I'm putting out there that I'm hoping for. He, of course, choreographed Dirty Dancing, which was the reason that I am dancing. So that would be one of my dreams to work with him on the project. I would say that balancing the commercial and the concert world is a very thin line, and it's something that I have yet to perfect. And there are, I would say, are a few people out there that have perfected it, but it is possible. I grew up loving hip hop. You know what I mean? It's in me, it's bred in me, it's part of the animal that I am. But I also have a humongous appreciation for the foundation of dance, where art is created from, and that is through technique. Through technique, there are no limits. You can go from the bottom to the sky in so many different facets. The same way with hip hop as well. But balancing them is kind of like you just have to constantly remain a student, I feel like, first. You remain a student and you'll be able to balance your versatility as an artist, because I'll be able to go to LA and do the LA thing with the music videos, the movies, whatever it pertains to, and hopefully, you know, as well come to New York and do, you know, company work, concert work, guest work, Broadway work, whatever is open and available. Because Debbie Allen taught me that knowledge is power, knowledge is versatility. Knowledge and versatility, those two things right there will take you so far. The more knowledge you have, the more power you have. The more versatile you are, the more power you have. So when you have knowledge and versatility, you can kind of go anywhere you choose. You can go overseas and do the work there, or you can stay in the States and do the work here. It's kind of like your choice, but it is a lot harder. It's much more work, and you have to constantly stay in contact. You have to constantly stay in contact with people so they don't forget your face, forget your name, and just so you stay out there in the public so they know, hey, I may not have been here for 6 months, but I'm still around, you know? One of the most difficult parts of balancing the concert and commercial world is the fact that you don't know where you're going to land. You don't know what's coming next, and your mind is always constantly changing. But that's with any artist, I feel like. What you need, what you require, what's going to fulfill you is going to constantly change on a daily basis. But I feel like I'm a firm believer in God. I believe in His path and my journey, and that wherever my journey takes me, I will be learning something, and I am meant to be there to learn something. So right now, I've kind of just been blowing with the wind, wherever the journey takes me. Now I am getting older and more concerned about like stability and where I do want to settle, you know, starting a family and a home and things like that. And so then you start to think differently and start to plan a little differently. But I feel like if you plan too much before you really get yourself and have tested all the waters, you kind of cut yourself short. You know, once you've gone out there and you've tested everything there is to test, you kind of know where you want to place yourself more, where you felt the best, where you lived the best, where you breathed the best, where you felt artistically the most alive. And I feel like right now I'm just kind of going through that process, and hopefully through that process I'll find somewhere where you know, I feel like I can one day settle down or feel more stable. Times, plural, that I felt most artistically fulfilled. The times that I felt most artistically fulfilled, one was Celine Dion. I spent 2 years there. I had just graduated from high school. I wasn't 21 yet, so I couldn't drink my money away or club my money away. So it forced me to invest my mind and time in other things. And usually I was surrounded, I grew up in the competition world, so usually I was surrounded by hundreds of competition kids who are all from the States, but from all over the States. When I went to Celine Dion, I was surrounded by artists who were from all over the world. And not only were they from all over the world, but they were seasoned professionals. They weren't coming in as their first job. They were coming in as some of them their final job, their goodbye job, or some of them like the biggest job of their life. But at the same time, they had done so many things. From every Broadway show you can think of, to every professional company you can think of, to every commercial gig you can think of. I mean, from Michael Jackson to Fosse to Alvin Ailey to Dance Theater of Harlem to Netherlands to, I mean, everything you can think of was right here in this pot. And I felt like I was being paid to learn. I mean, I still have vivid imagination of movements and memories that some of my fellow castmates, how they move, the essence of what they brought. Because dance is different everywhere we go. It is the true voice of the person or the culture. And each culture is so different. So when you have Spain, when you have, you know, Russia, when you have all of these different places coming together, you're getting a melting pot of so many different cultures and styles and ways of living. And that helped my art tremendously. I mean, I just grew. I sat back and I watched. And I watched, and I watched, and I learned, and I asked millions of questions. Anytime I didn't know something or was curious about something, I would ask questions. And it was probably one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life artistically. But if it was not for Debbie Allen, I wouldn't even be here, period. She broke me free from the competition world and let me even know that there was an art world out there past being on the stage and doing 12 pirouettes, you know, because there is so much more out there. So meeting her, going into Celine, and then all the things after, I've kind of been very lucky that I've been fortunate to be a part of great projects where the directors and choreographers understand art and they understand me and where I'm trying to go, and where people bring as much to the table as I'm bringing. When I go hard, and I expect everybody around me to go just as hard. And so when I'm on a project that goes that way, I feel absolutely fulfilled. Debbie Allen is one of the pioneers of our art form. She broke barriers and walls that so many that paved the way for so many young black women, black people, and the art in general. I mean, she's done everything there is to do, from acting to dancing to singing to directing to producing to composing music from scratch. I mean, the plays that she writes these days, she does all of the words. She writes the entire story. She composes the entire soundtrack with her and another friend or two. She kind of picks different people every time she goes. She lights the entire show. She costumes the entire show. I mean, the woman she's a genius, and she is she is also a true voice of young people and the youth. She is all about helping the youth succeed, giving the youth. She believes that the art can heal the world, and she is raising a generation of generals that will go out and enforce that same policy, that art can heal the world, art will heal the world. Through art, we can make a difference. Through art, we allow people to step out of their lives for an hour and a half, and be free. Completely escape in our world, selflessly. We give that to them, and in return, they give us a satisfaction we can't even begin to explain. But she's just an advocate of so many vital things to the youth, to my generation, to generations past me, to generations further down the line. Most people know her from fame. That's where she's mostly known from, but she's done everything there is to do. I mean, absolutely everything there is to do, and still going. She's the hardest working woman I know in the world today.